come to hero's pose on your mat. Soften your shoulders, create a strong connection to your core. Take your hands forward onto your knees. Start to move your spine around and check in with your body. And then when you're ready, allow yourself to come down with your upper body onto your lower body, coming into child's pose first, allowing yourself to fold in, to collect in, to fold down, and to open to the internal gaze as we close off the external gaze. Allow yourself to focus on your breath, the length and the duration of your inhale, the fullness of your exhale. Opening up the back as the spine moves in two very different directions, forward towards your head and back towards your hips. Allow the power of your breath to help you open up through the intercostals, through the spine itself, the lifeline of your body. Start to move around, ever so slowly. And then gently roll yourself up, finding hero's pose again, sitting back on your heels. Take your hands forward now on the mat, shoulder distance apart, knees back under your hips as we prepare to open up the spine, moving through cat and cow. Soften your knees, ensure they're pointing back towards your hips, and then lift up through the top of your head as you drop your ribs. Extend back and up through your tailbone, gentle back bend. Now the opposite, tuck your chin, lift the back of your heart, push firmly into your palms. Come into a neutral spine first, lift your head, and then again drop the last 3 ribs and the navel towards the floor, shoulder blades drawing in and down. Again, tuck your chin as you exhale, tuck your heart up between your shoulder blades. Then lower to that neutral spine, shoulders pulling down, bottom of the shoulder blades, attempting to connect to the top of your hips. Exhale again, push the breath out, arch the back. Back into that neutral spine, lifting your head. Now take your right leg, extend strongly back as you flex your foot. Pushing firmly back into your right heel, bend your right knee so the bottom of your foot points to the sky. Push down into your palms, lift your head. Feel the connection with your hands and your shoulders. From your core all the way into your right heel as you extend the right heel strongly away from you before dropping the right knee back down next to the left knee. Now inhale, the left leg extends back, flexing your foot, curl your toenails in towards your shin, bend your left knee, push down firmly into your palms, lift up through the top of your head. Open your spine by extending it in 2 very different directions. Then from here, again extend that left leg back behind you before dropping it down to the mat. With your 10 toes under, elevate your knees about 6 inches from the floor, bring your weight forward, gripping in your core, draw your navel in towards your spine, and then bring your weight back. Hips over knees. Inhale as you come forward, grip through the core muscles. Exhale, take your hips back just over your knees. Inhale forward, transferring weight. This time as you exhale, pour into downward facing dog. Hips up, heels down. Let your head hang heavy and roll your breath through your body. As you inhale, feel the ribs moving away from one another, reaching out, expanding. Now take your heels from the floor and press those ribs back on your quadriceps. Feel the shoulder blades pedaling back into the back of the rib cage and creating space. Straighten your legs, take your torso away from the legs, keep your heels lifted, and then lower them back down to mat. Find all of that space in the back of your legs. Inhale, transfer weight forward, and come into plank pose. A pose of strength, stability, and unity in the body. Uniting all of the areas of the body, allowing your body to work together for one common goal. Take your hips up and down until eventually you find a place where you can be stable. Draw the navel in towards your spine and try lifting your heart. Now lower all the way down to mat. Point your toes straight back, coming into baby cobra. A perfect way to warm up the spine, warm up the muscles that help line the spine. Use those muscles as you try to lift your torso away from the earth. Strong pelvic tilt here, pubic bone pushing into the floor. Tailbone tucking down towards your heels. Lift from that base. Try and extend up and out of that foundation. Let your heart rise, even let your hands rise, keeping your elbows close. Lower back down onto your hands and then come up onto your fingertips. Elbows drawing in towards one another as you try and again lift the torso away from the earth. Keep breathing. Keep rooting and anchoring into your foundation, your hips. Front of the pubic bone pushing down to the floor, lifting up and out, wide open heart, neutral neck, top of your head reaching up. Exhale to lower the chest back down. Flatten your palms again, coming down onto the floor. Breathe here. On that next inhale, your hands come forward, arms try to straighten out if that's available to you. Full cobra, still anchoring down through the front of the pubic bone. Listening to your body, if it feels right, you can walk your hands in. Feel freedom here, not compression in the lower back, rather extension in the spine. Exhale to roll down, palms flat, 10 toes hook under. Strong core connection as you push the earth away from you on an exhale, and move into downward facing dog. Take a few cycles of breath here, expand through the rib cage. Contract by drawing your navel in towards your spine. Come forward now into strong plank. Push firmly back into your heels, feet about fist widths apart, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale as you rise in upward facing dog, flipping your feet, join your heels together, active thighs, hips moving down, thighs moving up. Again, notice here your neck is neutral. Move back into Chaturanga Dandasana, push through plank, and then move strongly into downward facing dog. Remember that your transitions are as important as the destination, the asana where you end up. Lift your heels high now. Look up towards your hands and lightly step your feet between your palms. First forward fold. Halfway up on the inhale, try and create the number 7. Exhale, fold. Look back between your legs. Feel your fingertips pushing down into the mat. Inhale as you again rise, halfway up, create the number 7 with the body. Exhale, core contraction as you fold, bringing your torso against your thighs. Inhale, extend through your spine. Exhale, contract through your core. Soften the knees now as you sink down into a lower foundation here. Hips are low, arms spread wide just like wings, and then reach forward. Extend in 2 directions, forward towards your hands and back towards your hips. Rise with integrity by pushing into your heels. Let your hands sweep down and then in towards your heart center. Palms lightly touch. Full cycle of breath. Standing strong in mountain pose. Feel your heart beating against your hands. Slowly bring those hands down now onto your hips, helping to encourage a bit of a pelvic tilt. Taking your left arm up towards the sky. Reaching through the side waist as that left arm comes up and over. Again, remember we're working on our foundation and our base. Make sure you root into your feet and then extend from there. Feel a lifting sensation, not dropping or compressing by coming in. Strength. Next inhale, rise. Left arm up, right hand on your hip. Now bring your right hand skyward and draw your hands to your heart center again together. Release the hands onto the hips, a little bit of a pelvic tilt focusing on that foundation. Inhale as your right arm lifts up towards the sky and then extends over. Push firmly down into your heels, flare your fingers so the energy travels past your elbow into your hand. If it's available to you, you can try sliding your left fingertips down towards the floor. Moving our spine in all directions, moving our spine with integrity, moving with breath. Inhale as you slowly come back up to center. Both hands rise. Join your palms lightly and sweep your hands again down your core line to your heart. Bring the hands once again onto the hips and nuzzle them behind your hips. Little pelvic tilt here, tailbone pointing down, heart begins to lift up. Root into your feet, open your heart, and lean fearlessly back. Remember you're lifting here. You're not falling in, you're pulling up and out of your foundation. Elbows move in towards one another, shoulder blades support you. Use your core muscles to help once again lift your chest, and now your arms. Touch the palms, bring the hands back to heart center, and breathe. Always remember to breathe. Inhale as you reach up, warming the body, exhale to fold. Moving into our sun salutations, halfway up, inhale, deep forward fold, exhale. Find plank as you step back, opening your body on the inhale and lowering as you exhale, chaturanga. Upward facing dog, inhale, top of your head reaches up. Downward facing dog as you exhale, transition with grace and with strength. Lift your heels on the inhale, look to your hands, step or hop between your thumbs. Halfway up, inhale, folding again as you exhale. Inhale, reach both hands up, reaching out of your foundation. Exhale, hands to heart. Let's move again. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, hinge at your hips, drop your hands down beside your feet. Halfway up on the inhale. Deep forward fold, connection to core. Exhale. Inhale, step or hop this time into plank. Lower through Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhaling, upward facing dog. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Your hips are up, your heels are down, and your head falls heavy. Lift your heels, step or hop lightly between your hands. Inhale, lift, and exhale, fold. Inhale from your roots, rise all the way up, reaching into your hands. Exhale, hands to heart. Release the hands now beside the hips, Surya Namaskara B, touch the floor. Inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. Pelvic tilt, navel to spine. Extending into your hands here, rooting into your heels. Strong connection to core and legs. Knees push firmly towards one another, heels join together. Feel your arms extending away from your heart and your hips dropping down towards the earth. Forward fold as you exhale. Halfway up, prepare, fingertips touch the floor. Chaturanga Dandasana, exhale. Upward facing dog, inhale here. Downward facing dog, exhale until you're empty. Right foot between your hands, left heel to mat. Inhaling, warrior one. Arms reach. Feel yourself extend up into your hands, open your heart, and draw your navel in towards your spine. Root down into both feet as that right knee draws in towards the center line. Lower your hands slowly and step back into plank. Lower through Chaturanga. Upward facing dog, inhale. Downward facing dog, exhale. Now the left side, left foot steps up between your hands, right heel to the mat. Inhale, warrior one, arms reach. Big, brave step forward into life, fearless, wide open heart. Little baby back bend behind your heart, behind those shoulder blades. Exhale as you drop your hands down. Inhale to step back, exhale to lower. Upward facing dog on the inhale. Downward facing dog as you exhale. Hips up, heels down, let your head fall heavy. Feel that connection to core even here. Allow your arms to engage so those shoulders can slip apart. Now lift your heels, hop forward to your hands. Drop down into that forward fold. Then bend your knees and inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. Flare your fingers. Nice strong line from your hands to your hips. Tadasana, standing tall, bringing your hands to your heart. Drop your hands beside your hips. Touch the floor first. Inhale again, Utkatasana. Exhale to fold. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Upward facing dog, inhale. Downward facing dog, exhale. Inhale slowly, warrior one, right leg forward, arms reach. Exhale slowly, hands drop, right leg back lower. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog, drawing out the breath. Stepping your foot forward, inhale, reach up. Exhale, bring the hands down, step back and lower. Upward facing dog on the inhale. Downward facing dog, exhale. Slow, steady cycles of breath. Expanding through the rib cage, drawing your navel in towards your spine. Hips reach back, tailbone reaching up. Lift your heels now, look to your hands, step or lightly hop between your thumbs, and then drop into that forward fold. Bend your knees right away. Inhale, Utkatasana. Strong stance. Navel to spine. Join your palms. Stand tall in Tadasana. Hands to heart. Release the hands beside your hips. Step your feet now hips distance apart. Root down into your feet, all four corners of your feet. Spread your toes. Swallow and relax your jaw. Interwoven fingers behind your back. Stretch your arms. Open the chest here. Take your gaze up towards the sky and start to actively pull your knuckles down towards the back of your knees. But remember to lift up. Lift up with your heart if you can. Opening the heart and throat chakra here. Feel your heart lifting as you lay your head back. Remember to listen to your body. Go back only as far as you need to. Moving and developing that mobility in your body with grace. Use your core muscles to help once again lift your chest. And now your arms. Lower your hands down onto the floor beside your toes. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Upward facing dog, inhale. Downward facing dog, exhale. Checking in. Noticing the different waves of energy now traveling through your body. Use that wave to lift your right leg, keeping your hips incredibly even, navel to spine. Flexing your right foot as the right foot floats up and towards the air. Shoulder girdle is even to the floor here, even pressure in both of your palms. Now begin to open that right hip up. Let your right foot fall back as you bend your right knee. Point your toes. Lift your head and see if you can look at your toes. Try and connect that foot to your shoulder blade. Opening the hip, opening the back, and then once again extending that leg nice and high, evening out your hips and evening out your shoulders. Reach straight back and then draw that knee in towards your chest. Strong connection to core as you shoot your right leg straight back and lower it down. Chaturanga Dandasana. Upward facing dog on the inhale. Downward facing dog, exhale. Inhale now as that left leg lifts up towards the sky. Flexion in your foot, strong connection from your hand to your heel. Begin to open and rotate. When you've rotated as much as you can, let the foot fall behind you. Point your toes and reach those toes for your shoulder blade. Now lift your head and see if you can look up at your toes. Feel that left leg opening, left hip flexor opening. Feel the connection to your core even here. Strong and stable through the midline. Extend the leg back, even out your hips and your shoulders, and then bring that knee strongly into your chest. Inhale to shoot your left leg back in line with your spine, then lower into Chaturanga Dandasana. Upward facing dog on the inhale, downward facing dog as you exhale. Hips up, heels down, your head is down. Look to your hands, step or lightly hop between your thumbs, halfway up, and then exhale to lower, pushing your hands firmly into the floor. On that next inhale, sweep both hands up to the sky, looking up. Exhale, hands to heart. Stand strong in Tadasana. Bring your hands onto your hips, encouraging that pelvic tilt. Checking in with your foundation, interwoven fingers behind you, palms press. Lift and open your heart here. Open the heart, going a little bit deeper now. Using that heat that you've generated in your body to lift up as you draw back. Feel the expansion in the front of your body. Feel the freedom in the back of your body. Feel the strong roots that you have down in your feet, heels pushing into the floor. Draw the navel deeply in towards your spine. Use your core to help roll the torso back up and bring your hands onto the back of your hips. Release the hands down and then sweep them to the sky as you inhale, looking up. Exhale, draw your hands down to your heart center. Slow, steady, even cycles of breath. Inhale, reach up, look up. Exhale, hinge at your hips, lower your fingertips down, and create hooks with your index and middle fingers, which can slide around your big toes. Use that grip to draw yourself into a deeper forward fold here, rooting from your heels to your hips, pushing your hips up as you push your heels down. Slow, steady, even breathing. Walk your feet a little bit wider. Strong in your foundation. As you bend your knees, sink your hips down. As you sink your hips down, bend your elbows a little wider. Use that traction and strength to drop your hips all the way down towards the floor without letting the hips touch. Now your heart is higher than your hips, so you can extend your hands out in front of you, and then join your palms at your heart center, firmly pushing the back of your arms into the knees. Weight into your hands now. Hop back. Find plank. Use strength from the entire body to help you in your transitions. Chaturanga, and then lower all the way down to mat. Rooting into your pelvic floor to lift the chest slightly away from the earth. Connect to your core by drawing your navel into your spine. Always connect to your foundation and your base before you lift. Now float your hands. Show yourself the strength that you have in your back bends. Now take your hands beside your body, palms rotating up. Again, try and lift. Try and lift with your heart. Release your hands from the floor and extend them back towards the back of your mat or your feet, which now might be floating off the earth, only again if you feel stable enough to do this. Taking these back bends in a progression, gradually and naturally. Let's allow the body to rest, bringing your right cheek down onto your mat. Soften every part of your body. Completely relax. Relax and let go. Now bring your hands back to center. Prepare to go again, a little deeper this time. Let's take the hands forward. Hands extend in one direction, legs in the opposite direction. Inhale, arms lift, hands reach. Lift your torso, connect to your core. Lift your legs if that's available to you today. Extend in two directions, creating traction, and then feel a lift, a rise. Feel your hands lift and your legs lift. Then again, let's allow our body to be soft. Arms beside you, left cheek down against the mat. Soften, relax, and let go. Bring the chin forward. Bring the hands forward. Lift the chest ever so slightly. Now bring one foot, left leg, up in towards your hip. Grab onto that leg with your left hand, reach back and clasp your ankle. Now feel the force from that left leg pulling on your shoulder, opening your shoulder and your chest, coming up into half bow. Extend your right arm in front of you and your right leg behind you. Use the strength from that quadricep to lift you up. And then slowly release without slingshotting the leg back. Come down and rest your chin on your wrists. Take a few cycles of breath. Now preparing for the opposite side. Lifting the chest up, your left hand will go forward this time. The right leg bends as you reach your right arm back and clasp hold of your ankle. There's two options. You can grab the inside or the outside of the ankle as you come up. You can leave your leg on the floor or you can lift it. It's all depending on your personal preference here, whatever feels the best for you, whatever gives you freedom in your back, allowing you to breathe and create strength and mobility gradually and naturally. Slowly come down, resting again your chin on your wrists. Feel your breath pushing down into the floor. Soften and let go. Take your chest slightly off the floor again, bend both legs, reach both hands back. Again, either clasp the inside or the outside as we prepare for full bow. Anchor into your pubic bone and then rise. Strong foundation of the hips. It needs to commit to the floor. And then from that foundation, allow your spine to extend up towards your head. Through the top of your head, neck is neutral. Chest is broad and open, legs are strong. Release down slowly. Gently release the grip you have. If you want to stretch your quadriceps, you can even try taking your heels towards your hips first, before you completely release your legs to the back of the mat. Hands beside you, knees on the floor, come up into tabletop position first, and then transverse back into child's pose. Your arms are extended out in front of you, your hips are moving back onto your heels. Slow, steady, even breathing. Feeling your fingertips push down, your hands push down, and now your forearms push down as part of your foundation. Extend your legs back, find low plank. Strength and integrity through our core, from the shoulders to the heels. Lift your right leg up now. Really connect to your core. Don't forget to breathe here. On your next inhale, let's take the left leg and lift your left leg up. Try and do so without dropping your hips. Keep that integrity, that connection to your foundation. Lower your left foot down now and breathe. Bring both kneecaps down onto the floor, cross your ankles, and come up into a seated pose. Your legs extend out in front of you and your hips move slowly up towards the front of the mat. Bottom of your feet are flat against the floor, hands on your knees. Moving around in your spine naturally, noticing the range of motion that you have as you lift up and roll back, and then establish a connection to your core. Lift your hands from your kneecaps once you have that connection, and try lifting first your left leg as you rotate your upper body to the left. Lift your hands again. As you exhale and straighten that leg, rotate your upper body. There's those two variations. Legs can be bent or straight. Join both legs in this movement now. Float the legs up straight or keep them bent. And then come down. Hands onto the knees, again move around, create that strong connection to core, extend your arms, lift your right leg. Exhale as you rotate to the right. Inhale to lift your arms, keep the knee bent or straighten it out. Exhale, arms reach to the right. Inhale, come back up to center. Both legs now is the third option. Exhale as you rotate. Inhale, lift both arms up. Exhale, bring down your feet and your hands. Again, rock from side to side, sit bone to sit bone. Sit tall. Try moving your feet a little bit closer together and a little closer to your hips. Now extend your arms out in front of you. With control, begin to roll back. Roll your spine all the way down onto the mat. Release your hands, release your head. Slow, steady, even breathing as you walk your feet closer to your hips. Heels directly beneath your sit bones. Big toes touching, heels slightly apart. Encouraging your knees to roll in against one another. Energy is conserved this way in our back bending. Feel the rise here as we're already opening up our spine. Feel the little space under your lower back as you push down. As we do these little pelvic tilts, you can move around here. Inhale, lift your ribs. Feel that little back bend. As you exhale, flatten those ribs against the floor. Tuck your tailbone. Inhale as you do that little baby back bend here. Lift your lower back up. Exhale, draw your navel in towards your spine with that pelvic tilt. Come up into your first bridge. Push down into your feet. Push down into your shoulders and allow your heart to move up towards your chin. Always keep your gaze directly up towards the sky above you, not looking side to side. Opening our back but keeping our neck incredibly safe. Exhale to roll your entire body back down to the floor. Arch your back on the inhale. Exhale, little pelvic tilt as again you push up, this time going a little deeper. Now our fingers can start to yearn for the heels or clasp behind us, rocking the shoulder blades in. Heart towards your chin, pushing into your heels to move your hips towards your shoulders. Exhale as you release, releasing the hands first, the hips second. Dropping your hips down against the floor. Inhale to lift, exhale pelvic tilt and rise. Rising in this third bridge pose, we should find a little more freedom, possibly so much freedom that we're ready for wheel pose. Hands tuck in under your shoulder blades, elbows move towards one another, rooting through your feet, coming on top of your head first. Adjustments can be made there, then one further pump with your arms will take you all the way up. Remember, even here we're connecting with our core. Strong through the core muscles is protecting the lower back, pushing down into your feet. Stay as long as you like. Even try taking your head back towards your tailbone, completing the wheel or the circle. When you're ready, come back down onto your head, walk your feet out, and lower down onto the back of the chest. Release the hips. Breathe. Find yourself flat on your back. You can rock your knees from side to side, but avoid taking your knees in towards your chest. The back bending series is not yet over. Not wanting to go into that rolling just yet. Let's connect with the core again, remembering the integrity we have there. Take your legs straight up. Bring your hands down beside your hips. Use that core connection to lift your hips about 6 inches from the floor. And then lower them back down. Inhale again as you lift, perhaps a little bit higher this time. Exhale to release your hips back down to mat. Inhale as you roll your hips up off the earth. Exhale as you release them back down between your thumbs. Drop your knees to the side, keep the bottom of the feet connected together, opening the hips and inner thighs. Be a bit passive here. We're quite active in this practice, giving ourselves those moments to collect and check back in. Now bring the knees into the chest as you drop your feet down. From here, again, firmly root into your feet. See if you can touch your heels with your hands. Try and tuck your fingertips under your shoulder blades. Preparing again for a second round of wheel. Push down into your palms. Come up on top of your head. Reconfigure when you're in this lower variation and then come up. Always take your time, never rush these poses. Push down into your toes. Try even walking your hands closer to your feet, remembering this is a progression. If you feel ready, when you feel ready, you can take this into a lower foundation, dropping onto your elbows and your forearms. Your head is actively reaching for your tailbone, again completing the wheel. Our lower body remains the same, still very active and strong, very stable. When you're ready to come out, we simply rewind the pose, hands to mat, push back up into your strong wheel pose. and then coming out of wheel pose if you choose, or going further by taking your right leg up towards the sky. Take on as much as you like, challenge yourself where needed, and rest where you need as well. Drop your right leg back down, push firmly down into both hands, and then try taking your left leg up. Push into the heel and the ball of your foot so the energy is directed up towards your foot and knows exactly where to go. When you're ready, drop that left leg down. Lower onto your head, walk your feet back, drop onto the back of the shoulder blades, release the head, release the hands. Rock your knees again from side to side, massaging your lower back. Slow, steady, even breathing. Try and enjoy the tremendous amounts of energy rushing through your body at this time. Now we can draw the knees in as we cross the ankles and prepare to slowly rock ourselves up into a seated pose. Hands touch down, hop back into plank. Again, find strength and integrity here. There may be less resistance in this pose now. Allow yourself to move through vinyasa, upward facing dog, through plank, and then drop the knees onto the floor. Walk your hands back beside your kneecaps and then up onto your thighs. Let's hook the 10 toes under, bring the hands to the hips as we stack our hips above our knees, our shoulders above our hips. Bringing your elbows back behind you, preparing for camel pose, pushing your palms firmly into the back of your hips. Your head drops back, your heart opens up. Again, lift from this foundation, feel your heart rising. To come down lower, grip onto your heels, listen to your body, pull forward with your hips. Imagine doing this pose with your hips as the base, just as we did in bow. Feel that foundation being strong. To go deeper yet, your hands can move up your calves towards your knees. Eventually, the top of your head will come all the way down to mat. Lift up with your heart and breathe. As far as you take this pose, allow yourself to go a little bit deeper. And when you're ready to come up, push into your palms, push into your hands, and allow your chest to rise. Arms reach straight up, and then palms drop firmly down into the floor. Hook your 10 toes under. Take your hips up. Bend your knees now to the right and sink your hips back. Little twist in the lower back here, freeing up some space. Bring your knees first back to center, turn them over to the left, and draw your hips back towards your heels. Again, come back to center with your knees and drop them back down to mat. From here, extend your left and then your right leg back. Lower through Chaturanga Dandasana. Lift into upward facing dog on the inhale. Exhale into Chaturanga, inhale plank. Exhale knees to floor. Coming back into this strong and stable foundation. Let's let gravity do some of the work now. Let gravity pull your hips down. Keep your knees on the earth. Now try lifting your toes up. Keep sinking down into your hips. If it's available to you, roll your head back. Keep your chest open. Feel this in your hip flexors. Feel a lifting up and out of your foundation, up and out of your hips and lower back as you roll back towards your toes. Bring your toes back down, activate your legs in your core to lift your hips. And again, exhale with strength into Chaturanga. Upward facing dog on the inhale. Through Chaturanga Dandasana, into plank. And now into downward facing dog, hips up, heels down, your head falls towards your thumbs. Roll your breath through your body. Again, encourage your body and your breath to move that energy. Step the right foot between your hands now. Bring your left knee onto the floor. Inhale, arms reach up. Hands stacked directly above your shoulders, and then the arms open wide. Right hand in front, left hand behind. Take a grip with your left hand around that left foot if it's available to you. And then if you feel balanced, try taking your right hand towards the sky. Possibly even back. Touch the back of your heart if that's available to you. You can even start to hook your left toe into the crease of your left elbow, connecting your fingertips here. Nice hip opener, a nice back bend as well. Release your right hand and your left with control, integrity. Lift your hips and step back into plank. Lower through Chaturanga. Inhale, flip your feet upward facing dog. Exhale into Chaturanga. Inhale to plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Now step your left foot forward, right kneecap onto the floor. Get strong and stable in your foundation. Inhale, arms reach up. And your next exhale, open your arms. Left hand in front, right hand behind. If it's available, grab onto your right foot. If it's available to you and you feel strong and stable, take that left arm up and then back. Touch the back of your heart. Progress slowly. Only go to these places if it feels right, if you can still breathe. Allow yourself to surrender and open up into the space necessary rather than trying to force your way in. Without slingshotting the leg back, release. Bring both hands back down to mat. Activate your legs and step back into plank. Always connecting to core. Moving through vinyasa, upward facing dog, and then progressing back into downward facing dog. Try and feel the weight of your head, the weight of your heels. Lift your heels now, look to your hands, and hop lightly into a cross-legged pose. Release your feet out in front of you. Your hands are on your kneecaps. Lean back, roll back, and release onto your shoulders and your head. Walk your feet close in towards your hips. Lift your feet from the floor now and extend your legs strongly up towards the sky, curling your toenails in towards your shins. Very slowly peel the spine up off the floor as we come back into plow pose. Coming into this inversion, it's incredibly important to remember our foundation, our shoulders. Our neck is part of that foundation. This is an area that requires special care, so keep your gaze steady up towards the sky. Don't look side to side. If you're ready to progress into shoulder stand, try taking one leg up at a time. Slow your breathing down and allow your energy here to reverse from your feet down towards your head and your heart. Staying here long enough, you can actually begin to drop your blood pressure. Slow your breath down and allow your body to relax. A little foot play is also available if you feel confident in your foundation. Try dropping your left leg down onto the floor, taking this into a bit of a back bend. Right leg is still extending, still nice and strong. Feel the flexion in that foot. Feel yourself in a variation of bridge and shoulder stand. If you chose that transition, bring both feet down to the mat now, and let's roll the spine down. Palms flat against the floor. Legs lift once again to the sky, connecting to your core, using those muscles as we peel back into plow pose. If you stayed in shoulder stand, you can simply stay there and relax. We'll join you again. Bringing the hands to the lower back, lift the opposite leg this time. Come up with strength, integrity, remember the foundation and the neck. Finding shoulder stand again. Nice deep stretch in the base of the neck. Feel the weight of your body. A little foot play again. If you feel confident in this, drop your right foot to the mat. Use your left leg, that counter action, to help keep you balanced and stable. Left leg extends. Right foot firmly pushing down into the floor, stability as it lifts your hips up. Bring that left leg down now to meet the right leg. Very slowly, let's all roll down, rolling the spine down, rolling the hips down. Finding ourselves now flat on the floor. Bring your feet in, wrap your hands around your shins, embrace your lower body now in gratitude as you hug your knees to your chest. Gently rock yourself from side to side. Even try rolling your knees around, massaging your entire lower back. Now reverse the direction of those circles. As you move your knees around, focus on the area of the back that needs to be soft. Take your breath there. Grab onto the outer regions of your feet now. Bend your knees. Try pushing the tailbone towards the floor. Keep your lower back firmly rooted. Happy baby. Great way to open up towards the end of the practice. Rocking gently from side to side if that feels comfortable to you. Your knees are bent. Now let your left leg go long. Keep your right leg in. And use your left arm to pull that right leg all the way across your body as we go into a twist. You're rolling onto the outer regions, the left side of the body, the left hip and left leg. Taking your gaze in the opposite direction. And slowly coming back to center. Grabbing onto both legs again, holding onto your left leg as you release your right leg long, and then pull that left leg all the way across your body as we roll onto the right hip and right side of the right leg. Look in the opposite direction and breathe. Gravity is pulling you open. Breathe into the ribs. Again, come back to center. Grab hold of both knees. Draw your knees in, wrap your arms around your legs and your shins, and bring your forehead towards your kneecaps. Small like a seed. And then allow your entire body to spread open. Palms rotate up, feet fall open. Gravity takes over and draws you down towards the earth. Let go of all resistance. Move with that pull. Breathe. Again, try your best to bring your awareness to the quality of your breath. With your eyes closed, tuning out of that external gaze, again connect to the internal gaze. Feel the energy that has been carried through your body and released. Anything that felt stagnant or stuck is now flowing freely through you. Every part of your body is radiant, glowing, and illuminated. As you sink down into this area of relaxation, a place where you can let everything go, you can release all the walls and the barriers that you constantly hold up throughout the day. When we release all of that, we find what's left behind. We find what lies beneath. The radiance of who we are. The strength, integrity, and intentions that we hold become incredibly clear. Allow yourself to sink into this place now, to stay here and visit here as often as you like, to find what you need, knowing that when you find this place of unity, you can feel that unity within yourself, and you can begin to take that sense of unity out with you into the world, into the relationships that you currently have. Allow yourself to take with you the strength that you need to strive for what you want, the foundations that you need to move forward and progress, but always taking time to remember and appreciate all that you currently have, and to find the courage that you need to stand firmly for what you believe in. Until next we meet, namaste.